Trump, of course, is in the Gulf, and he made statements. He's still making statements. And now he's saying again that he wants to turn Gaza into a free zone again. Wants to take Gaza and turn it into a freedom zone. He's saying that in the UAE. He wants it to be a free place, remove the occupiers. Trump is still pushing for a ceasefire. One of the greatest reasons that Donald Trump did not meet Benjamin Netanyahu is the fact that Benjamin Netanyahu did not confirm that he is willing to go and have a ceasefire. That's why he did not see him. And he refused to go and visit Israel, although generally in normal times, Donald Trump and any American president that visits the region, they always visit Israel. Even the indirect flights from Riyadh to Tel Aviv in many cases. This is coming with more tensions between Ansarullah in Yemen and Israel. Yemen is the only active front outside of the Gaza Strip, and they are still conducting attacks. Today they shut down Ben Gurion again. Ben Gurion Airport is getting shut time after time in the past few weeks. 3 airlines had to go back and then delay their landing. According to Israel, they took down this missile outside of the Israeli atmosphere. It was intercepted, but parts of the missile were found in Gush Atzion, which is in the central part of Israel. So Ansarullah declared that they carried out an operation, and they also declared that they will be intensifying their operations. Israel is saying that Arrow 3 intercepted this missile. However, hundreds of thousands were outside celebrating what they call Lag BaOmer. Many of them were in parties too. They had to evacuate. However, the effect is there. These people are in panic mode because they are still facing all of these attacks coming from Ansarullah, who are vowing to continue and expand their military operations against Israel. Yemen declared that it increased its operations several weeks back after Donald Trump declared that they reached an agreement with them. Now they said we're expanding the operation to have an aerial siege, and therefore they're conducting all of these operations against Israel. Now Trump is saying that, actually they did not really ask for a ceasefire. He made a statement in which he said, no, it wasn't actually Ansarullah who asked for a ceasefire. Clearly the Americans went and asked for it because they were getting attacked. They were getting attacked for protecting Israel in the Red Sea, protecting a genocide state. And even in media in the United States as well, they're saying like Trump's ceasefire with the Houthis was a win, just not the kind of win that he says it was. Well, of course, it was a win over the United States for the Houthis or for Ansarullah. Donald Trump, of course, tried to portray it in a way that projects power and victory for the United States. However, he wasn't very successful with that, especially with the repeated evidence that came from Yemen that they were targeting all of the aircraft carriers of the United States constantly ever since they began the genocide coalition to support Israel and its ships sailing in the Red Sea. This is coming with more statements coming from the United States administration, this time from, the pro-Israeli Marco Rubio, saying that I'm concerned about the suffering in Gaza. You see, we were talking about the statements, the tone changing, and criticize, of course, as much as you like, now, not before, you've been participant. There's a change. This man is supposed to be a man who doesn't say a word, right? We're concerned, like that's some change. However, there is nothing to confirm. There's nothing to confirm yet that there's a breakthrough. The only thing we have is very intense talks, very intense pressure, and quite frankly, empty promises coming from the United States administration. Now, were Hamas naive to believe the United States, or are we going to see some results in the next few days? There are options to reach results. As a matter of fact, Netanyahu himself said that we might actually go into a temporary ceasefire, but without declaring an end of the war. And again, Yair Lapid today said that we're one cabinet meeting away from a ceasefire, confirming that it is Israel who is delaying the ceasefire and reaching a ceasefire. Now, the tone is changing, and the tone is also changing in Europe, bit by bit, But to call Israel a genocidal state, nah, that's something new. We have the first European leader, the first country leader in Europe to call Israel a genocidal state. And that is none other than the Spanish premier calling Israel a genocidal state. And Spain does not do business with it. Why did he say that? He said that because some were accusing him of still conducting business with Israel. To which he replied, Spain does not conduct business with a genocidal state. Finally, someone calling them by their right definition, a genocidal entity. What is so difficult about that? If you go to the dictionary, you find what the word genocide means, typical. Unless, of course, you want to change the dictionary and you want to play around with the English language and modify it to suit your political opinion or ideology, or your master's political opinion or ideology. But this is coming with a shift that is happening generally. Some of the European leaders having more positions that are criticizing the genocidal state and also more supportive of the Palestinians. And this is important.